Okay, I know we're practicing all these study guides on parallelograms, but I don't want you to forget the polygon stuff from the 4.1. So let's do a little bit more practice with polygons. So in this one, we're going to be using the sum of the interior. It's a little formula we practiced already, and the sum of the exterior of each irregular polygon. Notice that these are all irregulars. It doesn't say anything about regular. So what is that little formula that we just learned the other day? Remember, it has to do with the number of triangles that we can draw inside of a polygon. And inside a triangle is 180 degrees. So that little formula we learned the other day is where we go 180 times the number of triangles and minus 2. So the sum of the interiors is here for a 32-sided polygon, a triconticydecon. Try and say that for me. So that's a 32-sided figure. So that means our n is 32, and here I go plug into the formula. 180 times 32 minus 2, or 180 times 30, and 18 times 3 is 54 with 2 zeros at the end. Go ahead and grab your calculator and double check me on that. And then what's the sum of the exterior angles of any polygon, regular or irregular? Well, that's just 360. Okay, sum of the interiors. This time it's for a dodecagon, a 12-sided polygon. So that means that our n is 12. That means we're plugging in 12 to this little formula. 180 times 10, so that's 18 with 2 zeros, 1800. Go ahead and multiply it on a calculator to test it. And the sum of the exterior angles of a polygon is just 360. You getting the theme on that one? Okay, this one's a hexagon. You're supposed to know that that means that the number of sides is 6. Just like over here, the octagon, you're supposed to know that that means the number of sides is 8. Did you know those words? So plugging in n equals 6, we're going 180 times n minus 2. So that's 6 minus 2. 180 times 4. I need to double check that one. 18 times 4. Is that correct? Yep. What's the number, the sum of the exteriors of hexagon? 360. Every polygon has the sum of the exteriors is 360. Okay, octagon, we're going to go 180 times n minus 2. And this time our n is 8. 180 times 6 is 1080. Sum of the exteriors. Triangle has 3 sides. Pentagon has 5 sides. Here we go. Hey, can't we only draw one triangle inside of a triangle? Yep, so that just equals 180. And then the sum of the exterior angles, it's always going to be 360, no matter the shape. Here we go, last one on the front side. I think that's just 540. And then sum of the exteriors is always 360. How'd you do on the front? Okay, now let's take a quick peek here for what they're asking us to do on the back. Now we have regular shapes, meaning that all the sides are the same size. So the measure of one interior angle of a regular hexagon and the measure of one exterior angle of a regular hexagon. Here's a little quick reminder. To get one angle, you take the number of degrees from the outside and you divide it by the number of sides. Inside, and divide it by the number of sides. Look over here how on the right it says, if the polygon has n sides and the angle sum is this number, then you divide that answer by n to get one angle. So this formula here was in our study guide on Monday. Each interior angle of a regular polygon is this formula here. So let's go write this down. N minus 2 times 180 is going to be for the measure of the interior. Here it is again, n minus 2 times 180. divided by n. Or you can write it as 180 times n minus 2 divided by n. It doesn't matter if you put the 180 in the front or the back. It shows differently depending on where you look. So that's how we're going to get the interiors of each of these. And what's my n going to be in this one? Hexagon is 6-sided. Pentagon is 5-sided. Now, what about the measure of the exteriors? Remember that the exterior is always equal to 360. So to find just one of them, we're just going to take the 360 and divide by n, the number of sides, and that'll tell us each of the exterior measures. Okay, so let's go try these little formulas. 180 times n minus 2 over n is going to work out as 180 times 6 minus 2 over 6, or 180 times 4, which is 180 times 4 is 720 divided by 6 gives me 120 degrees. That's the measure of 1. Then 360 divided by the number of sides is just 60. So let's check this out. The measure of one interior is 120. The measure of those exteriors is 60. Did you remember that the exterior and the interior form a supplementary angle? So doesn't it make sense that that 120 plus 60 equals 180? Okay, there's a little concept for you. Let's go try the next one with a 5-sided figure. So it's 180 times 5 minus 2 over the number of sides 5, or 180 times 3, which is 540 divided by 5. That's 108. Well, can't I already guess what the other one's going to be here in just a second? But let's go do the work. 360 divided by 5 equals 72. And I'm like, oh, look, 108 plus 72 does equal 180. Check. Okay, next one, measure of an equilateral triangle. So it's 3-sided, and an octagon, 8-sided. So we go 180 times 3 minus 2, or 180 times 1, which is just 180, which is just 60. And then 360 for my exterior divided by n is just 120. Do you see how 60, the interior angle, plus 120, the exterior angle, those are supplementary, they equal 180. Let's go 180 times 8 minus 2, or 180 times 6. Oops, forgot I didn't put it over n. And so 180 times 6 is 1080 divided by 8, and that equals 135. I can already subtract from 180 and see what the other thing's going to be, but let's go do the work. 360 divided by 8 is just 45. Do you see how 135 plus 45 is supplementary? It equals 180. Okay, quadrilateral, that's a 4-sided figure. Decagon, it's a 10-sided figure. Let's finish these last two. Remember to pause these movies and try these on your own. 180 times 4 minus 2 over 4. It's 180 times 2, or 360 divided by 4. That's telling me the interior angle is a 90-degree angle. Didn't I already know that for a quadrilateral? I probably did. If that's 90, what's 90 plus what equals 180? Well, I can already see it coming. Did you guess it? Both the interior and exterior of a quad are 90. This one's a 10-sided figure, all over 10. So 180 times 8. Let's grab a calculator for that one. I'm getting 1440 over 10, or 144 degrees. 360 divided by 10 is 36 degrees. Do you see how 144 plus 36 equals my 180? Okay, a regular polygon has an exterior angle with a measure of 20. So they're giving us the answer this time, and they want us to solve for the n backwards. And because it says exterior angle, we're using this little easy formula. So multiply by the n to bring it up. I'm going to get 20n equals 360. Divide by 20, divide by 20. What is that, 18? This is an 18-sided figure. A regular polygon has an interior angle with a measure of 120. So this is n minus 2 over 180 times 180 times n, and they're giving us the answer. So we're going to multiply by n to bring it up. I'm going to distribute and get 180n minus 360 equals 120n minus 180n from both sides. Do you see that that's going to leave us negative 360 equals negative 60n? Divide both sides by negative 60, and n equals 6. A 6-sided figure has an interior angle with a measure of 120. So hang on one second. Going back up here to a 6-sided figure, you see this right here? Has a measure of the interior of 7. Sorry, that gives you all of them. I guess that doesn't show us that cool answer, but it's a 6-sided figure. Find the measure of an exterior. So here I go like number 13. But it's giving me the number of sides, a 20-sided. So measure of the exterior angle is just 360 divided by 20. So that's an 18-sided figure. Oh, I'm sorry. They're giving us the number of sides. Oh, just kidding. We did it right. It just equals 18 degrees, not sides, not. So number of sides is 20. 360 divided by n, and that gives me my 18 degrees. Finally, we find the measure of each interior angle of a dodecagon, or a 12-sided figure. So again, the measure of each interior angle of a regular dodecagon, so that's using this formula here. So that's 180 divided by 12. And that's 15. Now, if you just did this entire worksheet and you did not pause the video to try any of these on your own, I highly encourage you to practice a couple of these over on the side somewhere, so you can make sure you do know them. Okay?